Right. Let's dive into this explainer. Imagine this. You're 18 years old, standing at a mailbox in Indiana on a random Thursday. The appointment letter to the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs just arrived. You're holding it, literally not moving for almost 2 minutes. But here's the thing. You didn't just wake up and find yourself here. You had to apply twice. The first time, a flight physical disqualified you for borderline death perception. So what do? You spend 11 grueling months doing vision therapy exercises every single morning. You retest, and you pass. Nobody told you it was even possible to do that, you know? You just decided it was.
And then reality hits. Basic cadet training begins before your duffel bag even hits the dormitory floor. We're talking 6 weeks of absolutely no rank, no privileges, and zero unstructured time. You're waking up at 0500, running in formation before the sun even clears the Rockies, and eating your meals in Mitchell Hall in complete silence, getting maybe 3 minutes per meal on a bad day. You're constantly corrected for standards you didn't even know existed until the exact second you violated them. I mean, picture week 1. A basic cadet named Darius Owe from Atlanta goes down at mile 4 of a 6-mile run. You instinctively slow down to help. Your cadre instructor just screams at you to maintain pace. So, you maintain pace, and you're going to think about that moment for years. Meanwhile, the academic pace is just totally merciless. Aerodynamics, thermodynamics, military history, navigation theory. You're sleeping maybe 5 hours on a good night. At 2,300 hours, a cadet named Renardo Szymanski from Wisconsin is using a pencil and a napkin to explain induced drag to you. You won't forget it. In fact, you'll use it a decade later in a debrief at a classified base you'll never even be cleared to visit. By week 3, you completely stop measuring days. Wake, run, eat, class, train, study, sleep. You're an 18-year-old being totally stripped of every external marker of identity just so they can observe what, if anything, remains underneath. Then comes the very last day of basic cadet training. You're standing in a massive formation of 1,000 people on the terrazzo under a Colorado sky so wide it almost seems impossible. They hand you your prop and wings insignia. Something with no name yet just settles deep into your chest. Because it finally clicks. Getting here? That wasn't the achievement. It was just the permission to begin.
Phase 1, permission to begin. Fast forward a bit.
You're now 22 years old. You've got 4 years under your belt, a gold bar on your shoulder as a newly commissioned second lieutenant, and orders to Laughlin Air Force Base in Del Rio, Texas. Undergraduate pilot training is exactly 52 weeks. You'll either have wings at the end of it, or you won't. The program adjusts from absolutely nothing. You start in the T-6 Texan II, which is deliberately demanding. Your instructor is Captain Hector Villanueva. He's got 2,200 flight hours and a perfectly flat affect in the cockpit. He asks a question once. A wrong answer twice means you haven't studied. 3 times means you haven't thought. By week 11, after 43 sorties, Villanueva climbs out of the back cockpit, says, "Your aircraft," and walks toward operations without even looking back. You sit there, do the checklist, and lift off into the warm Texas morning air with no voice in the back seat. 4 minutes and 20 seconds. A clean pattern, a smooth landing. You taxi back, and Villanueva is at the edge of the ramp. He gives you a single nod. You will measure moments in your career against that nod for the rest of your life. By month 8, you're in the T-38 Talon. It's supersonic, twin-engine, and totally unforgiving on approach speed. Too slow, and it departs controlled flight with almost no warning. There is exactly one correct speed. You find it, and you hold it. You fly 2 sorties a day in peak weeks. It's brutal. A student named Owen Braddock, one of the 3 best in the class by almost every metric, washes out at week 41. His bunk is just empty by morning. You don't even ask what happened, because the program isn't built around fairness. It's built around standards, and the standard does not move.
Then, Wings Day finally arrives on a Thursday. Your parents drive all the way down from Indiana. Your mother pins those silver wings to your chest in front of the entire class. It's less than 2 ounces of metal, right? But the Air Force has invested $1.3 million just to get you to this exact moment. And the crazy part? You haven't even flown anything designed to be invisible yet. So, you're 23. You're a rated pilot, but trust me, the Air Force is not finished with you. Every pilot selected for a fighter aircraft completes Introduction to Fighter Fundamentals, or IFF, down at Randolph Air Force Base. You notice the difference the second you walk in. Pilot training taught you how to fly. IFF teaches you what flying in a fighter actually means. You're back in the T-38, but you're doing basic fighter maneuvers, formation discipline, and surface attack fundamentals. The culture of fighter aviation isn't just a phrase here. It's a professional discipline with its own unforgiving definition of acceptable. Your instructor is Major Lynette Carver, who has 1,800 hours in the F-15C. And here is the real kicker. She doesn't motivate you, she evaluates you. Motivation implies there's uncertainty about whether you'll perform.
Evaluation means you will be held to a standard regardless of how you feel that day.
Phase 2. Managing abundance.
Now you step into the incredibly elite F-22 Raptor B course. And man, the F-22 forces a massive paradigm shift. Every aircraft you've flown before asked you to manage limitation. But the Raptor? It asks you to manage abundance. The aircraft boasts a thrust-to-weight ratio well above 1:1. It has this incredible sensor fusion across radar, infrared, and electronic warfare systems. Basically, it feeds you way more information than you can process and demands faster decisions than the threat environment is ever going to wait for.
A huge part of managing that abundance is mastering low observable, or LO tactics. We all kind of think of stealth as magic invisibility, right? Like you're a ghost. But it's not. It is an active, highly calculated, and totally unforgiving discipline of presence management. It's knowing exactly when to radiate energy and when to go completely silent. You learn incredibly fast that just 30 seconds of poor tactical judgment in the cockpit can completely erase 30 years of meticulous engineering decisions.
Phase 3. Earning credibility. You're 26 now, entering the squadron as a wingman with 300 hours in the F-22. Being a wingman isn't some junior punishment phase you rush to get out of. It's a highly defined role. Your job is to execute flawlessly, protect your flight lead, and manage unseen threats. Your job is absolutely not to be noticed. It is to be perfectly reliable. Picture this. You're on a highly classified deployment to Guam. You find yourself alone in the dark, 70 miles from the nearest friendly contact, operating purely on passive sensors with zero emissions. You execute a valid simulated shot under severe communication restrictions. And you know what? You don't celebrate it. You just file it away. Because as a wingman, credibility is the literal only currency that spends in this community.
And this builds the absolute central motif of a fighter pilot's life, the debrief. The standard of self-critique just relentlessly evolves as you grow. At age 23, you are fiercely evaluated by your instructors. By age 29, as a flight lead, you're the one drawing the timeline on the whiteboard, ruthlessly owning up to your own unnoticeable errors in front of your entire flight. And by age 32, as an instructor pilot, you're literally debriefing yourself alone in a parking lot on the drive home, treating your own tactical gaps with the exact same merciless discipline you'd apply to a brand new student. The self-critique never, ever stops.
Phase 4. Telling the truth.
Fast forward again. You're 35, and you've been selected for the insanely competitive 6-month USAF weapons school at Nellis Air Force Base. Now, the crazy thing is, weapons school doesn't actually teach you how to fly. It teaches you how to integrate massive, multi-domain air power. You're learning to synchronize F-22s with electronic warfare, tankers, space-based surveillance, Navy surface ships, and cyberspace elements all at the exact same time. You are building a complex kill chain that has to survive without a single point of failure when one node inevitably goes down. It's like a giant high-stakes puzzle.
But the most crucial part is what happens after you graduate. Wearing that weapons officer patch means the Air Force now fundamentally trusts you to tell it the uncomfortable truth. Say you're back at base, and a senior officer proposes a route that degrades your stealth effectiveness by 60%. The room goes totally quiet. You have to stand up, look them in the eye, say no, and present the brutal math behind why. You cannot budge. The route is redesigned, the package executes, and guess what? Nobody thanks you. Earning that patch carries the heavy responsibility of ensuring lives aren't lost simply because someone higher up wanted a comfortable plan instead of an accurate calculation.
Phase 5. The weight of command.
By age 39, you step into the demanding, administrative, and, let's be honest, often unglamorous reality of being a squadron commander. You are now personally accountable for 24 pilots and their lives, and you quickly learn that command doesn't make you powerful. It makes you accountable for everything, including things that weren't even your decision. Like when one of your pilots makes a procedural error on a tricky nighttime approach in terrible weather, you are the one summoned to the wing commander's desk. You don't minimize the error, but you present his solid record and the corrective actions you've taken. A true commander stands firmly under the crushing institutional weight, absorbing the impact so their pilot doesn't have to carry it all alone. Let's just sit with this number for a second. 34. 34 years of continuous, grueling, unforgiving discipline. It is not a ladder you climb, it is a daily practice. And now, at age 52, you wear 4 stars as a General Commanding Air Combat Command. You are responsible for 130,000 airmen and 1,400 aircraft.
A reporter asks you what it felt like to fly the F-22 for the very first time. And your answer? It ties the staggering weight of a 4-star command all the way back to that 18-year-old kid in Indiana fighting just for the permission to begin. You tell them,
The aircraft assumed you deserved to be there. The job was to make that assumption correct every single time. The machine assumed you're worthy, and your entire life became a dedicated, relentless mission to prove that assumption correct day after day, year after year.
So to wrap up this explainer, we can distill 34 years of elite aviation and continuous self-correction down to 3 deceptively simple steps. Assess it, plan against it, execute. It's how you deal with an enemy threat in the air, and it's exactly how you deal with your own internal fears. It all boils down to an unwavering commitment to the truth. So here's my question for you. As you face your own daily debriefs in life, whatever they might be, are you choosing to be comfortable or are you choosing to be accurate?